Good morning and welcome to Coffee and Coaching. Welcome to Monday. I don't know about you, but it's hard to keep track of what day of the week it is now. I know for some people, being at home is a very different experience. We're used to being at home, but we're also working pretty much 7 days at the moment. And so it's hard to know what day of the week it is. But a couple of things that I wanted to mention to you. Tomorrow, I'm running an online business intensive. So if anybody is going, you know what, I really want to know more about how to get my business online or how to grow my online business, it's a mega showcase. So it's on for 3.5 hours. It starts tomorrow at 9 a.m. And I have 6 different speakers, and we will be going until 12:30. And you'll have the chance to ask a lot of questions on there and learn a lot from a lot of really great speakers. Good morning, Carla. How are you? Um, and so that would be great. If you have not already registered for that, you can go to onlinebusinesslive.com. So nice, easy one to remember. So open that up, onlinebusinesslive.com. It is on for 3.5 hours, but you don't have to stay for the whole thing. Obviously, you can, if there's just certain speakers you want to hear from, you can log in for those bits and then jump off. If you can't, I've had a lot of questions in going, what if I can't make it live at that time? If you register, you will get access. So I'm going to get each of the recordings and I'm going to put them into a course sort of structure, which has the video and information for each of the presenters that are presenting tomorrow. So if you register, you'll get free access to that. So even if you can't make it live, hop on in there and register. So that's onlinebusinesslive.com. Okay, so is anybody that's on, have you got any questions, any business questions? I know a lot of people are pivoting business at the moment, going, all right, how are we going to get used to this new normal? I know yesterday I had a bit of a spin out last night when I saw our Prime Minister's address, and he said, get ready for 6 months. And I was like, what? So everything that's worked before is not going to work going ahead, and so we do have to reinvent what we've done and pivot and reimagine what life is going to be like and how we can thrive in that, and what we can do to our businesses to make it viable to continue through that whole process as well. So if you've got any questions, let me know. That's what I am here for. Carla has said, yep, thought the same thing. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised because for most countries that have locked down for a month, it's kind of like, we're okay. So I don't know where this 6 months has come from, but it's a scary thought to think that we're going to be kind of housebound for 6 months. I really wish I'd done that renovation earlier. But how are you going with all of it there? So I do want to encourage people to use this time for good. I know that it takes an emotional toll. I was a bit teary on and off yesterday, and just thinking about all of the different things. And for me, most of the conversations that I'm having with people are, they're struggling so much and trying to reinvent their business and reinvent the whole way that they've done things. And for a lot of people, they've worked so fucking hard and were doing so well, and then it all just comes crashing down. And so that really got to me yesterday. It caught up with me from an emotional point of view. And I was like, this is just so unfair for everybody. So it's hard. But in this time, I do think, we need to give ourselves time to adjust to that from an emotional point of view and to let our heads kind of catch up to the reality. But then if we can use the time for good, it means that we're being proactive. It means that our businesses will be better for it. And we can do all of those things. So this week on the podcast, so on Her Empire Builder, I'm doing a podcast episode with how to start your own podcast. So if a podcast has been something that's been on your list, and this is a thing for a lot of people, they've had stacks of things that have been on their list for a really, really long time and never had time to actually do it because, life and work and all the things. And right now, we've got a little bit of extra time where you can jump in and maybe do some of those things. And so, if that's you and podcasting has been on that list and you've wanted to start a podcast, jump on Her Empire Builder podcast on Wednesday. That one will be released, and I'll be running you through kind of the benefits of doing that and how to do that and the process that I use to do our podcast each week as well, so that you can do that. So Carla said, as you know, I'm reinventing my program. I haven't had time till now because running with my other business and make the most of the focus time. Excellent. Yes. So that is that's a beautiful point, Carla. And I think the hard part is letting that adjustment take place so that you can mentally be ready to use this time to your advantage, and not the other way around. So give yourself some time to kind of relax and wallow and cry and do all of the things and grieve what should have been and what you have lost, and then kind of pull your bootstraps up and go, all right, how am I going to get on with this? How am I going to use this time for good? And what can I do to change it? So Amelia has put on struggling with juggling the family and their expectations of how we'll be spending this time and actually getting my work done from home. Yes to this 100%. I've had a lot of conversations with people about this in the last week. So for those of you who have followed along for a while, you'd know that I took 9 months off 2018 to 2019 and traveled around the world with my family for 9 months. And so we obviously homeschooled in that time. And so I got a kind of taste of what that was like. And don't put too much pressure on yourself. So one of the biggest surprising parts to me, I mean, for us, we kind of thought, you know what, this is a sweet spot in our life and we've got this time to really enjoy each other. And so I didn't put too much pressure on the actual learning side of things. Every day we journaled. Every day we did some maths practice. I had bought exercise books that my kids had to do a couple of pages of, but all of that took about an hour and a half. And then we did fun stuff. We did craft. We went to museums. We traveled. We did all of that sort of thing. And the surprising part to me was when they came back 9 months later, my older one came back, and the week later he had his NAPLAN test. And so I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting. And he did fine. He did totally fine. They did their test. They'd missed quite a bit of stuff in terms of like the technical things, like what is a simile and those sorts of stuff that we didn't actually teach them for the grade appropriate kind of lingo. But in terms of just smarts, keeping their brain exercised, keeping it ready, that was plenty. And I was having this conversation with my husband yesterday because we have a lot of work on at the moment. Our business helps people get online. And so, we're working all day, every day, 7 days a week, trying to help people do that as quickly and easily as possible. And so it means that we can't give as much attention to our kids as what we normally would. And my husband, who has been traditionally the stay-at-home dad for the last 7 years, is kind of going, he's feeling guilty about that and going, I'm not spending enough time with the boys and I'm not doing this and that. And I was kind of going, okay, let's look at that, because with you can't do all the things at once. So you can't be running a business. You can't be doing a full-time job and like doing all the things at home, because everybody's at home, the mess, the cooking, the cleaning, all of that sort of stuff, and being a full-time teacher. It's just not going to happen. So you got to let some things go. Otherwise, the pressure on you is just going to be too extreme and too high, and nobody's got time for that shit. So if you've got a choice between like doing some maths or having a snuggle on the lounge, because I read last week Lifeline's getting a whole heap of calls from kids that are so stressed out because their parents are so stressed out, and it's really hard for them to cope with. So for us as parents right now, I think the most important thing is our mental and emotional health, both for us as adults and for the kids and for everybody. This is a situation we've never been in before. So I would say take the pressure off. Act like John Farnham. Take the pressure down. Yep, I just went there. But you got to do whatever you can at the moment to take that pressure down. So I think, yeah, don't put too much pressure on yourself to perform how you think that you need to perform in this time. Francis has said, when is the podcast thing? So normal podcast time. So it's our podcast episode, not a video episode, and it will drop on Wednesday. Okay, so Francis has said, I'm really struggling at the moment to work out what to focus on. Every client is now on hold, so no new business. Yeah, and so a lot of people are in this situation. So it's really, I would recommend doing a brain dump of everything you've ever wanted to do in your business. So whether it be create those systems, start a new podcast, do a new online course, write a book, whatever these things are that you've always said, gosh, I wish I had time to just do all these things. Whatever those things are, write them all down, brain dump the whole list, and then look at them and go, okay, if in the case that our business is on hold for the next few months and we don't get new business coming in, what sort of things could I develop right now when I've got this time and space that would mean as soon as our doors open back up again and as soon as those floodgates open, and when they do, everything's going to kick into gear so quickly because everyone will be so damn excited to be back into life again. What are the things that you can do that are going to put you in the best solid position so that you're ready for that? And so if that is, writing that book that you've always wanted to write, get on that. If that is creating that online course, I mean, enough of my background to know that's the way I think everybody should have one of those. So get into developing that. And the focus is hard because it's really hard to focus on future things when at the moment it's so scary and uncertain with what's happening. So be patient with that. Like when you're feeling on, go for it. Do all of those things. But when you're feeling off and it's just all got a little bit too much, you can't create properly from a place of stress and emotional turmoil. So for that, you've got to kind of get your head into gear, go for a nice walk, have a little relax, watch a movie, have a laugh, do whatever you can to try and lighten that mood, and then go back into creating so that you can have the most solid business that you can when all of this comes back on. All right, so if you've got any other questions, pop them in the comment box there so that I can get to those. So we've got Bridie. I'm so great. Oh, you're so sweet. She said, I'm so grateful for your support and guidance. Thanks, Bridie. So yeah, do whatever you can to get through this time as best as you can. The thing is, nobody knows what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I nearly fell off my chair last night when ScoMo said, get ready for 6 months. I was like, 6 months? What? I still feel a little bit like that. I actually don't think it's going to be 6 months because if we all do the right thing and we lock down in a month, we'll see the numbers start diving, which is what's happened in China and South Korea and all the places. So I just hope everybody does the right thing, 90% of the population, and then we can get back to living because this is hard to be inside and do all of this stuff. But also use the time, like try and find the silver lining in terms of going, all right, we've got the time and space to be able to create the things that we've never had time to do, work on those projects. I know my wardrobe's never been so freaking clean and organized. So do what you can do to the best of your ability. And if I can help you at all, reach out because I would love to help you in any way that I can. And like I said at the beginning, if you haven't already, go to onlinebusinesslive.com and register for tomorrow because tomorrow we are having a 3.5 hour showcase of experts to help you either get online or grow your online business. And it's going to be amazing. I've never put on like a whole expert showcase before. And when I had the idea, I was like, this would be amazing. And then everyone said yes. And I was like, yes, let's do it. So that'll be really good. So jump on that at 9:00 tomorrow morning once you register at Online Business Live. All right, everyone, have a good day. Sending lots of love and hoping everyone's, giving themselves time to breathe. And we will get through all of this just fine. I'll talk to you soon.